What'd you guys think?
Yeah. I think they liked it.
I think so
I
too.
could tell from the reaction. I've never been in a crowd watching a film and had it react like that. That was unbelievable. It's like esports at the cinema. I like that. That was good. We're going to do the Q&A now where Casey and I are going to chat to OG. So can we bring them up here? Guys, come on up.
You're going to be sitting here.
Thanks, guys. Have a seat.
You look good.
They clean up real nice.
They do.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Okay, so you just saw it. How do you feel? How does it feel watching that all back?
Very emotional, very, very emotional. I mean, like, we kept talking about TI afterwards, and I think most of us shared the thing where we just seem to have forgotten a lot. Like, we forgot over half of what happened. So much happened. And I mean, it was like 2.5 months of compressed Dota into this TI, and I mean, seeing it, you actually, it's like some things, it feels like it's the first time you're seeing it, even though you were there.
Does it feel like it was a very long time ago, even though it really wasn't?
It feels like it never happened, so a very long time.
So what did you think of the movie, Jerax? What did you make of it?
Emotional. It's one of the moments that make me feel very also like sad and happy at the same time.
But you seem to be completely stable in the games. Like, you're just laughing and joking and relaxed. How do you do that?
I think it's just a game, but then outside, as soon as I come out of the booth, it's different. It's just like the movie ended. It feels like way different this life.
What is the source of your emotion right now?
My teammates.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's rare that one can go back and actually watch and see what the other team is doing in any sport. You had a chance to do that here. I know you've had a chance to do that before, but I mean, this was the grand final. What surprised you the most about what you were able to see watching it back, Seb?
Just how strong we were together. I mean, we felt it, but looking at it as a spectator, I think there was, I mean, something happened, something magical happened, and I'm also feeling it when I watch this movie. There's something that we cannot, it doesn't get to us, nothing gets to us. I mean, I see these games now, I watch back the replay, and I'm like, I mean, they might lose, like, they're 20K gold behind. And I know we won, right? I mean, I lifted the goddamn trophy, but like, I'm still thinking, but it's like we're protected in these games. It's how I felt, and I felt very secure in these games. I felt like nothing could get to me, and that's like thanks to them and thanks to what we built together. So yeah, I mean, that's what struck me the most when I watched.
What about when you saw some of the strategies of LGD? Was there anything that surprised you based on the conversations that you were able to witness?
I mean, yeah, a little bit. Obviously, this is like something we would really, like, how to put it, like, we would sacrifice a lot of things just to get in their brains for like just a minute, because the entire tournament you spend it studying them and trying to understand how they think and how they think of you and what they have prepared. And now, of course, there's a lot more to what they build strategy-wise, but you get glimpses of it watching TrueSight, and to us, like, this is really golden. Oh, so that's what they thought. So obviously, they had some really good things going, and other things where they probably should have gave us a little bit more credit for certain things. But the same goes the other way, right? Like, we're looking at some games, and we're looking at a hero they picked.
You were like, we got this.
Yeah.
I mean, we got this, right? But 20 minutes after, I was not that proud. So, it's how it goes. Like, you want to be confident anyway. Yeah.
Wow. So let's talk about outside Dota for a second. After TI, how would you say your day-to-day lives have changed in the last few months? Like, do you wake up every morning and think, wow, I won TI, or is there more to it?
How did it change, Topias?
Topias, how's life?
I don't think it's changed much. Like, I still play Dota all day long. The only thing is that I don't have to and I count my every euro I spent. Like I can go shop, I can buy food, and I don't have to care like how much it costs. Like I can.
I think for a lot of people, and I don't want to really speak for Anna, but I think for generally people in this team, like we kind of achieved something that we've all been, I mean, in his own regard, longing for, and I would say life is much better for all of us. I mean, Anna, I'm pretty sure is also the case. I mean, he's not here, but I believe he's watching, and I think he's also very happy about things that happened.
Yeah, what would you
Yeah,
like to
of
say about Anna on his behalf? Because I know that you were such a tight-knit group.
My boy.
He got them.
Yeah, he got them. I mean, when I first talked to Anna, it was early 2017, I believe, and the first sentence, or like the last sentence before he joined the team, was let's win some majors and a TI, and it was kind of what was missing. So
Hired.
it was like he said it, he did it, and now he's out. Yeah.
Job's done.
Yeah. That's all you asked for. I
Yes.
believe it. Yeah. Awesome. So, Tobson, you started off like with the team basically in the middle of the year. Did you ever imagine that you'd be winning TI, or were you just thinking, I'll just go along for the experience and see how it goes?
No, I didn't really have any expectations, or like I just took it as an opportunity to get myself some name and maybe get to TI and play with some really good guys, and I mean, worked out really well.
So how come normally OG go into a TI and everyone's like, they won the major, they're doing great, they're looking fantastic, and it doesn't work out. But then when you have probably the worst pre-TI start you could possibly have, you guys won it. What changed? What was the secret that you suddenly unlocked at TI where you said, all right, we got it, guys, this is the key?
I mean, every single loss definitely made us stronger, so there's that. There's no other path to winning than like losing over and over again. And we had losses, so it helped. I mean, it really helps because you carry these with you as experience and, like a lot of other different things. But it's definitely the human aspect that I would say. Of course, the Dota part, it was on point because if it was not on point, then we would have gotten knocked out or we would have not even qualified. But what made the difference is definitely, the human aspect of it and how we were there for each other's. And this is what I think, was the biggest difference between this TI and the other years. I mean,
I also think that we didn't set pressure on ourselves. Like Dobson said, there's no expectations. You just play, and I think most of the games we just had fun. At least I did.
Yeah, all of us, bro.
And even the practice games, like we didn't take the losses very strict on ourselves. I think we were able to improve a lot, but at the same time we were having the fun part of it, always coming together and like really just enjoying.
Does that change now? I'm curious what it's like now that you've won. This is the ultimate thing that you can possibly do in a Dota career, and now everybody treats you as the best. Does that change the way that other teams see you, and in turn, does that have to change the way that you play together as a team?
You definitely have people look at you different. Other players, I mean, I can only speak for myself. I always looked at a TI winner much differently. That guy won TI. I know which one is like TI 5 winner, TI 6 winner, TI 7 winner. You know it. It's very prestigious in a way. I mean, they beat you. I mean, they beat me at that tournament. It was always like that. And it's changed, but I don't know. It feels easier now to play than it did before.
Easier?
Yeah.
Would all of you agree with that?
Yeah.
It feels easier.
Yeah.
Pretty easy now, right?
No, but I mean, Dota never gets easy as in to win, but to not have that pressure on you. It's at least now as for my personal case, like I have been playing and having the most fun in Dota that I've ever had after TI. It's like no pressure at all.
So why is it that winning 2 TIs has been so difficult thus far?
Well, it hasn't been that difficult for us so far. We're not there yet. We'll let you know after TI9. Hard.
I mean, now that you're there, though, do you see why it has been tough for other teams to reconvene and come back and make another run at it? Or have they just not been you?
No, I mean, honestly speaking, I don't think it's. Name me a player that keeps winning.
Right now?
I mean, there's no player that keeps winning in Dota. Dota is that hard. It is really hard game.
It's true.
There's a lot of people that want it, and if you're gonna do something like winning 2 TIs, you gotta really, really want it. And that seems to be hard for people, like really, really hard. But we're here to try and do our best at it.
Okay, so if you guys think back to TI8, what other than lifting the trophy, what was the moment where you really thought, we've got a shot here? Because you probably didn't think that coming in, but halfway through the tournament, pretty early on, just in the semi-final, where was the point where you thought, lads, we can actually make a real run at this?
That's a good question.
After the first day of group stage, we were like almost winning the best teams there, and I was confident.
I told my dad a few months before TI that this was our best chance that we've had.
A few months before TI, right in the middle of all the...
Right after we just established this team.
You knew.
I knew our chances were better than before. That's what I felt. Yeah.
It was interesting for me as an outsider to watch the different dynamics of the teams, and obviously context is important. There are cultural differences, but and you've touched on this before, but just how important was it that you were having fun together? Because the balance between your personalities was so fun to watch. It was fun to watch, you know, somebody would make a mistake and immediately you all just said, don't worry about it, move on. Is that the key? Is just not losing sight of the fact that you get to play Dota?
I think it ties up people together, where some people like had some rough games you probably saw in the document, and I think
It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
and then the other guys like
They gave him a lift, right?
this guy's really good at it. He is lifting you up. It doesn't matter how far you go.
Don't go too far. Don't go too far. No.
And yeah, I think that's mostly everybody's capable of doing it for the other person, and that's all the fun part of it. Kind of like it just ties you together. You don't have to think so lonely or sad or whatever. It's just all the other guys are always lifting you up.
I think naturally Dota wants to kind of bring that out in you, the worst in you. It kind of happens when you...
That is definitely true. That is definitely true.
But if you as a group together try and fight that bad feeling of losing and the game, like you get unlucky at some point, and you fight that as a group, then it becomes very nice. Like you're finding a negative feeling together.
That's a good way of looking at
That's
it.
the next pub.
That's your next pub, guys.
Everybody's
Be
next
nice.
pub. Fight it together. Next pub.
So there was a moment when you guys watched this earlier.
Because we're super creepy.
We are kind of creepy like that.
We like sat them down in the
Fine.
theater. We're like, watch it. And it was really kind of a fun
It was interesting because this was a bit that you actually jumped out of your chair. I knew it. So explain this bit to us, why this mattered. I think we're going to show the clip now. Hopefully.
打到我头晕脑胀，我操！
Yes, yes, I fucking knew it.
Yeah. You actually called it.
I fucking knew it.
You called it that they felt bad.
No, but I had the same headache, man. I think most people who played that game had a really heavy head afterwards.
Yeah.
So, so you had a headache in the same game, and when he came out, what was it about the game that gave you guys all headaches?
I mean, now people can speak for themselves, but
Right.
I like to think that everybody who plays Dota speaks the language of Dota. And to me, what was being a part of that game, and I think it's more so for some roles maybe, but in general, that game was so hectic and intense. There was so much to think about for so long. And it was this really heavy feeling, like, in your brain. If we had to play right after, we got an extra long break, it would have probably been a really bad game. I think because most people would not have been ready.
Yeah.
We needed a break, and it was a really intense and long game 4.
I know
That pressure, I can't imagine. That would give you a headache alone. But when you got to game 4, when you were down 2-1, you thought, if we lose the next one, we're out. When you got to 2-2, you could almost see that their energy sort of drained out as you guys were flying. How important do you think it is to, like, you win a game, you're so confident you're going to win the next one?
I mean, momentum is definitely a thing, and it goes like both ways. So, let's say, we lost game 2 and we lost game 3, and of course, if you know where it's heading. I mean, you know, you don't have to be a genius to understand where this finals is going. And we just lost 2 games in a row. Now we're not afford to lose another one. So you have to fight this back, you know. You have to go get whatever resources you have, whether it is like team resources or, mentally, even physically, like energy, whatever, you know. Just hype yourself up and get back there, because obviously you're not there as a spectator. You're the one that's going to decide the outcome, or at least you have a say in it, right? And as a team, we probably have a big say in it. So you want to fight momentum when they have it and you don't have it and it's against you. And when it's with you, you want to ride it, but you also want to be careful of the traps it's going to set for you, because now you might lose focus. You might, you know, like think ahead too much. And at the end of the day, you have to keep your head down and just get ready for what's to come. And it's usually 1 game at a time. I mean, we never had to play 2 games at a time, right? So 1 game at a time. Yeah. So it's pretty simple. I mean, we just keep, you know, repeating it. Yeah.
I know that a lot of people refer to this as the best TI ever. And credit obviously goes to you guys, but it also goes to PSG LGD. They played a great match too. This is a chance for you. You know, they're not here tonight, but we all appreciate how hard they played as well. What can you say about them as a team and the kind of effort that they put forth in the match?
There's one important thing about it is that in the documentary, they sometimes had words against us that might seem offensive, and we probably had the same. It's not these teams, and I mean, we know that as a matter of fact, that there's like an immense amount of respect between these teams. I'm sure they have an immense amount of respect for us, and likewise. Sometimes a way to hype yourself up is to try to convince yourself that they're not as good as they look like, because obviously you've been studying them and they're really, really good, but you maybe want to try to tone that down a little bit, because you're going to have to beat them. You know, you're not here to look at how good they are. You're here to beat them. I mean, honestly, props to them. Like, they were an insanely hard team to understand, to face. They gave it their all for sure. Like, you know, I think it was like one of the closest series I've ever played in my life, and I'm sure it's the same for most of us.
I say that they're one of the more open-minded teams when it comes to many things. Even though this documentary, you have these bad words, some things might be lost in translations. Even if it's not, it's a matter of like, you want to put your enemy below you always. And if you're having some self-esteem issue, it's also good to just put them down. It doesn't matter. You have to be above them. But like I said, they're a very open-minded team, and they play really good Dota. I've been playing against FY, and I lost to him so many times in my life. I'm so happy I didn't have to lose to him again.
We have one more question, but before we ask it, we want to give you a few details on the Q&A. So after this question, we're going to start accepting some of the questions. And you guys have thought of some good ones, right? One guy nodded. Great. We'll get right on that. So you can start lining up in that back corner. Nick is waving.
He's waving right there, waving his phone there.
Waving his phone. If you line up there, they will help get everything sorted out. We also are going to have a director's cut of what you just saw tonight, and that will be available later. Soon.
TM.
I'm like, I pause. Later. Yes, later. We will give you those details soon, and that will also be worth watching. It's all just fantastic. Yeah. So we look forward to hearing your questions.
Yeah.
What about the balcony? So sorry.
Sorry, balcony.
No,
Hello.
come on down.
Yeah, go.
If you're in the balcony, absolutely. I mean, don't come this way, go that way. But,
yeah, go down the stairs.
I just realized I'm gesturing this way. Do not come this way. Go down the other way. One final question. I know you had a really good one that we had talked about.
Did I write it down?
You did.
I've forgotten it.
I was going to ask him, but I felt like I was stealing it from you.
What does that say? Your handwriting is terrible.
I know. I'm sorry.
No, that one. Oh, right. So, I remember. TI9. You guys, for whatever reason, there's some other team is in the final. It's unimaginable, but let's just say it happened, okay? What advice would you give that team and say, these are the things that we learned, and this is how we did it? What advice would you give to that team? I'd like to ask each one of you, regardless of who the opponent is or how they're playing, what single piece of good advice could you give them? Seb?
You want an honest answer, or you want
Absolutely, as honest as you dare.
I mean, honest answer, like, good luck, bro. Like, I'm not giving you any advice.
Jerax?
I mean, they're going to be playing us.
No, against someone else.
Pretend that they're not.
That's why I said, just imagine that somehow
but that's the only
you're not.
possibility.
Okay, so the only possibility is against you. So
There's no other word.
Okay, of course. Thompson, can you think of anything that you'd say?
And just focus on your own game and don't overthink it.
Don't overthink it. Okay.
You can do what I did, and it's to go talk to Kuro. He knows. Huge thanks to Kuro. I honestly don't think that I could have helped my team half as much if it wasn't for him. So if he's willing to speak to you, that's what I would do.
There you go.
So sweet.
Okay.
Talk to Kuro, man. Talk to Kuro.
Talk to
Talk to
Kuro.
Kira.
All right. We're going to open it up to you guys.
Yeah, let's do the Q&A.
So
If
we're
you've got
gonna
a
do the
question,
Q&A. I'm going to head
on
down
it.
to the microphone, but if you're ready, we're going to have you start lining up. Sending me out. Here we go. Can we get a round of applause for your TI-8
Yeah.
winners, please?
What's the first question you think they're going to ask you?
Huh?
What's the first question you think they're going to ask you?
First question that they're going to ask us. I feel like all the questions.
What's the burning question on OG fans' lips, would you say?
Where is Anna?
Where can you get this T-shirt that I wear?
there.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
My name is Mirza. I have two questions, one quick and one short. Sorry, one quick and one long.
I'll accept.
First one I'll do for the memes. No Tail, why did you steal Thompson's mustache?
I want to look like Charlie, man. I just want to like a mustache like Charlie. I'm just fine, man.
Excellent. Second question, and I'm really curious about this. If you can just do a quick head math between the four of you and maybe on behalf of Anna, how many hours played in Dota, not including Han, in Dota 2 do you have together?
15,000.
More like 19 with the Smurf account.
You're not supposed to smurf.
Oh,
I haven't played on it for 5 years.
Yeah.
It's an old one. How much are you on?
18,000.
18?
I have no idea. I don't. I
Zero?
Zero, yeah.
Something around these lines. Yeah,
probably.
something around 20, like between 15 to 20K. I don't know. It's
do
a
you
lot.
think between all five of you, 50,000 hours, maybe?
No, more.
Much more.
60,000?
Like 80?
75,000? Well, he was on zero, so I was taking
Yeah,
that
sure.
into
I mean,
account.
yeah.
Should we say 80,000 hours between the five of you? Does
That's
that
about
sound
right.
about right?
Quick maths.
That's
80,000.
crazy. That's crazy.
A lot of quick maths.
Yeah.
Congratulations on your win.
Thank you.
Good question. Thank you.
That was a good one. Hi. Come on up. And you make sure you get right up on that microphone. What's your name?
Xavier.
Nice to meet you. Go ahead and ask your question.
So my question to you is, your run at the Grand Finals at TI-8 really looked like what you experienced at the Kiev Major Grand Finals. What did you learn from there, and what experience did you take from Kiev to win TI-8?
Yeah, Topias, what experience did you get from Kiev?
I think, for example, for Anna, I'm just going to say for Anna, it's like Kiev was a big turning point for him, I want to say. We had some strategy issues and stuff. We were pushed in a corner by VP in Game 5, and yet we bounced back, and we went back to something that actually didn't have that much success, but yet we just blindly believed in it. I think, for me, that was something very beautiful, is blind trust, and I mean, we kept seeing it all the time in TI. We had infinite trust in each other.
All right.
Thanks a lot, and Lakad Matatak.
La Capmaradak.
No money, no money. Come on up.
Thank you.
You ready to ask your question?
I am.
And your name, sir?
My name is Marcus.
Continue.
So every TI final has had like a one big play, like the $1 million dream call, the $5 million Echo Slam. Could each of you pick out one play that you want to highlight and give it like a name, like on the spot?
Anna
Seb.
Scepter.
Anna Jules, what are you saying?
What am I saying?
I feel like Seb should be kind of easy.
I'm gonna pick.
can't pick your own.
You got to You got to give it a name. What are you going to call this?
Yeah.
Is that what we call it?
I'm gonna give it. I'm giving it to Anna. I'm giving him the Ember Dodge. I think the Ember Dodge on the unbeatable FY shaker that echoes the ground because Anna has used before. Yeah, that's a good one for me.
Yeah, that's good.
setbacks. I mean,
you even saw the movie. Holy shit, Seb.
my mind blew during the game when I was there playing. I didn't need to play. I just linked, and I'm like, oh,
That's good.
you want did we? I think we played like 1 versus 5 or something.
Yeah. I mean, no, it was like.
And then Anna came later.
No, but it's also it came out of nowhere because my axe is not as good as people think it is.
I mean,
But that's a secret. That's not gonna get out there, right? Like,
You don't rate your axe?
I mean, actually, I think it was the first axe that we played. Like, it was not a hero that we played so much. So.
I think he'd hardly played in the tournament up to that point.
No, yeah,
Kind of one of those-
but not even in practice.
Yeah.
It's
Just casually strolling in and winning. Yeah.
Axe
You're a
called
few
us.
months away, I think, from your last Axe game, right? There's been months.
Yeah. It was a long time.
Well, it worked.
Yeah, it did somehow.
Thompson $5 chain lightning. I don't know. Yeah, no, actually, I'll give it to Seb. If you want a real one from me, I'll also do the Seb Axe, Anna Ember, Jules. Like those are the great ones.
I have a little follow-up. Did any of you guys notice at any point the Anna Ember game, the fight at the secret shop, where he was locked down? While he was locked down, he sold his items so that when he died, he had enough gold for a buyback.
Yeah.
Did any of you guys notice that at any point, or when did you learn about this?
Anna told us after the game that he sold it, and apparently it worked.
Calculated.
That's what he said. I think none of us noticed.
No, but he didn't even say anything in the game. He's
Not
like,
in the game, no.
Oh shit, they're ganking me, and that's the last thing we heard. And then I have. That was it.
Does he say anything at all?
I mean, it's like I didn't even expect him to do the math that quickly. You know, like for normal things, like it's gonna take him longer. But for some reason, like he did the in 1 second. He had it correct. I don't know. I think it says a lot about how focused players can be in these games, and it just like whatever capacities you have, like it just amplifies everything because you're so in the zone and so focused that yeah, you just push your limits constantly. And that was a moment where he did. I mean, it was just a normal day in the office for him, right? But you're gonna play a pub or something, you're not gonna be that focused. Probably gonna be harder to, you know, do a play like this. And for him, it was very casual. I mean, he didn't even say anything about it. It was just like, let's move on. You know, you don't wanna get stuck, you know, because I mean, they keep bringing the fire to you. They're gonna do something else and stuff. You wanna stay in the flow of the game. Yeah.
Good question. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, come on down. Hi, how are you? What's your name?
Nikolai.
Nikolai, go ahead and ask your question.
This is mostly better. Okay. This is
Better
mostly
bouncer.
for Seb. So I was wondering what made you eventually come back and play, and how did it feel then to prove yourself as a player, having already proven yourself as a coach?
I mean, it felt great, obviously. And what made me come back is mainly the trust that I felt from my teammates and the fact that they believed that they needed me. And this is something that gives you wings. And it's probably a big part of why I was able to have a good performance or a decent one, because like they just feed you confidence. This is where it comes from mainly. Yeah.
Did we?
I mean, yeah, you did.
Oh, okay.
Even if you didn't mean to, you did. You ended up doing it. So yeah, this is where it comes from.
You played okay.
Yeah, sure, thanks. that's the confidence we're talking about. You know, after such a motivational speech, I'm just gonna lift mountains now. I mean, I played okay. No, but
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hello.
Get on up there.
That's a little low. Yeah, I'll manage.
Yeah.
Thank you. Service. My name is Igil. This will be a rather quick question. So now that the whole underdog strategy has proven worthwhile to you, how do you plan to fuck up the team this spring so you can win next TI?
We'll let this guy in.
It's been working
Thanks,
out
Nick.
great so far.
Good looking out.
I mean, we got rid of one guy already coming here.
Oh, man, we're just planning to really dig ourselves deep in a trench, hope for people to just forget that we exist, and then like eventually we're gonna see like, did they remember?
Open qualifiers.
Yeah, open qualifiers.
have you seen our last games? Like, it's already on. Like, have you seen it?
guys.
What's your name?
Dimitar.
Dimitra?
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Get on up there.
Those were awesome games, beautiful Dota. What interests me is basically how much of the grand final strategies were pre-planned and how much was pure improvisation.
That's a good question.
Yeah, very good.
We saw Seb waving his notes around.
It's
He commented on that. So
I'll do it more next time. I'll bring even more paper.
I want you to walk in with like a binder.
Yes. I didn't
Slap it down on the table.
Yes.
Look the other guy in the eye. Page 187, huh? Wisp, is it? Okay.
Had I knew it got to them that much, next time I'm going to be acting so much, it's going to be crazy.
Just pictures of Spectre.
Oh, man.
Oh shit, they banned it.
I mean, there's a lot of work put into preparing any match, really, and a grand finals even more so. It's hard to give you like a percentage or something, but I'd like to say it's half planned, half not planned. It also depends on how they adapt and how they force you to adapt, right? If you have a big edge on the team you're going to play against and you prepared properly, maybe you're going to keep a good 75% or whatever. But if the team adapts correctly or you didn't prepare properly, then it could go really low, right? In that finals, I'm not sure if we have to give a number, like how much was ended up being like proper preparation that we put into use.
I think the first two games are closer to what we theorized might happen, because I mean it's drafts, they're going to do something and you're trying to figure out what they're doing. And then what's normal in every grand final is like it just gets weirder and weirder and you go more and more away from your notes. That's what normally happens, and that was also the case here.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Of course.
What's your name?
My real name or Dota name? Maybe
Oh, your
my
secret.
Dota name is
Yeah.
real.
Oh, yeah, you say whichever name you want.
Lamaku.
Lamaku. All right, go ahead and ask your question.
So congrats for winning 2i. When I saw 2-side right now, I got really amazed on how positive you were. Like normally my games are not that positive. I don't think anyone has positive games, but how important do you think Seb was, his positivity in winning TI? And?
That's a question for you three.
And?
Yeah.
And?
Do you think we can get a chat wheel, a Seb chat wheel, like focus up, we're gonna fuck them?
That would be amazing, actually.
Like the one I really want is the slay.
Slay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got to slay, man.
So back to the first question, how much did Seb's sort of on-the-spot coaching of you guys, how much did that affect your mentality in each game going into TI?
It's not possible to play your best in a bad environment, and that's the essence of making a good environment. It's like being positive and believing.
But so the comments really do help when he says, we're going to fuck them, guys. It actually helps.
Of course.
I mean, if you happen to forget it, then slay.
Slay. What else? Slay. Yeah.
Awesome.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Before we get to you, we have a question from Twitter. So if you're watching on the stream and you have a question, you can use the hashtag TrueSight, so we can include you guys in this too. At Brazo Majestat says, to what extent do you consider your victory to come out of skill? And to what extent is thanks to your attitude and calmness?
It's a weird thing, right? Talent and hard work. You cannot really play Dota if you don't have the talent for it, as you probably cannot play versus these mega talented players if you don't have it. But even more so, if you do not put work next to your talent, if you have it, you're not going to get anywhere. Hard work gets you further than anything, I believe. So that's kind of the mentality that we're working with, but there's also the thing of talent. I don't really know. It's a very weird thing. That's my take on it anyway.
I mean, the way I look at it personally is, if you don't have the skill, then no matter how good your mindset is, it's not gonna be good enough. You know, it's not gonna cut it. You get to this stage, I don't know, the last 4 teams of TI, these are the 4 best mechanical teams in the world. Like, that's it. There's no doubt. then what's going to make the difference, I think, is how they approach these games, probably. And this is what's going to separate them from each other, because the skill gap between teams, sometimes when you watch a game, it might be hard to assess. One team might look much better just because of how the game is being played out. But truly, they're not that much different when it comes to what they can do, if they're given the proper conditions to shine. So yeah, it's going to come down to the mindset. But you need both, to get it to work.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Go ahead. What's your name?
My name is Oli, and I saw Seb playing 5D chess, and I was wondering, how did you prepare yourself for the matches? What strategies, how did you figure them out and utilize them and use them on your papers?
It's a lot of trying to get into their heads, trying to understand how they think, what's their mentality, everything. Had I watched True Side before, it would have been very helpful. Obviously, that's not how it works, but it's literally trying to understand them. And for that, you need to respect them. Because if you don't, you're never going to understand an opponent you don't respect. Because you're going to look down at them, you're going to you're not
going to put the work in.
Yeah, you're not going to put the work in, and it's also you're not going to recognize where the value lies. If they believe in something, then it's probably something you should look at, even if you don't believe in it yourself. It's not about yourself, it's about understanding what they're going to be doing, what they're going to be doing, and what they're going to be bringing to the table. And if they're in the finals, they're here for a reason. They didn't just walk around and somebody told them to come try to play. They just earned their spot to the finals. So yeah, trying to get into their heads.
Thank you, and shout out to Frag TV.
All right, you guys, great questions. Very thoughtful. Almost all of them. Where'd that guy go? Just kidding. No, they were all good. Do you have any more questions, Ted?
I'm good.
You're good?
Yeah, those were some great questions, and True Sight answered a lot of questions. I'm sure everybody here was wondering what it was like in the booths. Even you guys were like, oh, that's what I said. And so it's amazing that we can capture those moments from both teams, because I feel like we get the replays for the games and we hear the commentary, but the story, your guys' emotions and feelings and everything raw on the screen, I love that. I think it was wonderful, and I think you guys did too. So, yeah. Thank you very much, everybody. Is that it? I can't hear anything, Casey.
I know, sorry. All right.
Guys, thank you very much for coming to the premiere. Let's have it for OG. Okay, oh, there we go, yeah, standing ovation.
Remember, you guys can actually do a meet and greet. Do you know you agreed to that, right?
Yeah, you guys did agree.
Yes.
Okay.
So on the red carpet outside, the one that you walked along to get into the theater, we're going to be doing a meet and greet, and we have a Polaroid camera, so you can have your picture taken together, and then they can sign it right there for you on the spot.
But just before we go, do you guys have any last words or last thoughts that you'd like to say to everybody watching, to the people here, to anyone that you like, just one by one? Go ahead, Seb. You got anything to say?
Thank you so much for the support we've been given, and this win or this accomplishment, it would never have happened without that support. And honestly, as a Dota fan myself or a sports fan in general, whatever inspiration you can, if this inspires you, then, just keep using it for whatever you pursue. And we're really thankful that you're blessing us with your support, and we're going to try to keep you happy for the next season and the ones to come. So yeah, just thank you so much for everything.
Thank you. Jerax, do you have something you'd like to say?
Sorry?
Do you have something you'd like to say along the same kind of line?
Oh, yes.
Okay, here we go.
Well, everybody, thanks for coming here. I think like the most fun thing for me from all of you, whoever talked to me on Twitter or something, is to hear that people have followed us or somebody for 5 years or 10 years and keep bringing back some stupid games. I played some Nukes Assassin or something. And then they keep flaming me for that. And I think that's really lovely. And those are really good memories and I keep repeating them. And really big thanks to Valve for making this. I think it's incredible. It motivates me and probably most of you. And it just gets to me. It's very tough. And yeah, thanks for everybody cheering.
Yeah, thank you all for coming. I'm the guy who always, after games, goes to Reddit, read the comments, all the positive comments. It's always really nice to hear it has.
Oh boy, positive?
I read the comments, yes.
There is positive comments?
Yes, there's positive.
If you dig, if you really go down, it might come down.
But yeah, it's nice that some people actually care, you know.
Thank you. Well, you've got a whole lot of people here that think they feel.
Johan?
I mean, I know a lot of people in the cinema, but to everyone who watches Dota and follows us, a huge thank you, of course. I wanted to give also a big thanks to LGD for being such a good team, and I mean, for all the teams who are really trying to do this, like the blood, sweat, and tears that is put into it. Like, we know the pain, we know how it is, and just enjoy it while you're there, like playing Dota. Don't let that stuff kill you. And finally, yeah, huge shout out to IceFrog for making this unbelievably beautiful game together with a lot of people. I mean, everybody who's working on this game is given us so much. I don't know what I heard there, but yeah, like this incredible game. Dota is truly magical. It really lets people express themselves.
Okay. Thank you.
For being here. We really appreciate you guys taking the time, and I know it means a lot to everybody who's watching. And we want to thank all of you guys for coming out and supporting Dota. I mean, it's just so exciting to see everybody here together and everybody watching online too. We really appreciate it, and I know I'm excited for TI9 already.
Yeah.
Can it be tomorrow?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, they need time to prepare.
Oh yeah, we need a little
Oh,
more
okay.
time.
I'm sorry. I forgot. So thank you once again, and we'll see you on the red carpet. All right.
Thank you.